Have you ever bought something simply because it was on sale? Maybe you walked into a shop looking for one thing, and then you saw a big sign that said 50% off. Suddenly, that item looked like a bargain. You weren't planning to buy it, you didn't really need it, but it was half price, so you bought it and you walked away feeling like you had just saved money. But here's the question. Did you actually save money? Or did you simply spend money on something you weren't planning to buy? Welcome back to Do You Really Need That? A channel about taking a second look at the things we spend our money on. Because sometimes, saving money isn't about finding the biggest discount. Sometimes, it's about not spending the money in the first place. Let's start with something we have all seen at a huge sale sign. 30% off, 50% off, 70% off, buy one and get one free. Limited time only. Last chance. Clearance. These messages are designed to make us feel like we need to act quickly, and when we see a big discount, our brains often focus on what we're supposedly saving instead of what we're actually spending. Let's say you see a handbag that normally costs $100 today. It's 50% off, you might think. I'm saving $50. But you're not really saving $50 if you didn't need the handbag. You're spending $50. That's an important difference because the best deal in the world can still be a bad purchase if you don't need the item. Think about it this way. If someone offered you a $100 item for $20, would you automatically buy it? Probably not. You might ask yourself whether you actually want it, whether you'll use it, whether you can afford it, and whether there's something else you'd rather do with that $20. So why do those questions sometimes disappear when we see the word sale? Because discounts can create a sense of urgency. We start thinking that if we don't buy the item now, we're going to miss out. And that brings us to another problem, the fear of missing out. You see a message saying, only 2 left, or this offer ends tonight, or don't miss this deal. Suddenly, you feel like you have to make a decision immediately. But here's a simple question. You can ask yourself, if this item wasn't on sale, would I still want it? If the answer is no, that's worth paying attention to, because the discount might be creating the desire to buy instead of simply reducing the price of something you already needed. And then there is the buy one, get one free trap. Now, sometimes these offers really can be useful. If you're buying something you regularly use and you know you'll actually use the second item, then getting one free can make sense. But what happens when you only wanted one? You walk into a store needing 1 bottle of shampoo, you see buy one, get one free, so you buy 2, technically. You got one free, but you also bought something you weren't planning to buy. And this is where we need to change the way we think about bargains. A bargain isn't automatically a bargain just because the price is lower. The real question is whether the purchase is useful to you, because a $10 item you never use is not a better purchase than a $20 item you use every day. The price is only one part of the decision. There's also something else we often forget, that the money we spend on one unnecessary purchase can't be spent somewhere else. Let's say you find a jacket you don't need for $40. It looks like a great deal, but if you buy it, that $40 is gone. You could have put it toward groceries. You could have saved it. You could have paid part of a bill. You could have kept it for something you actually needed later. This is what makes unnecessary sales purchases so sneaky. The purchase may not feel expensive. $10 here, $20 there, $30 because it was a really good deal. But those small purchases can add up, and at the end of the month, you may look at your bank account and wonder where all the money went. It didn't necessarily disappear in one big purchase. Sometimes it disappeared through a collection of small purchases that seemed harmless at the time. So what can you do the next time you see something on sale? Try this simple 3-question test. Question number 1. Was I already planning to buy this? If the answer is yes, the discount might genuinely help you save money. If the answer is no, pause before buying. Question number 2. Will I actually use it? Not someday. Not maybe. If I eventually get around to it, will you realistically use it? Because buying something you don't use isn't saving money. It's just creating clutter. And question number 3. What else could I do with this money? This is probably the most important question. If you spend $50 on something because it's on sale, what are you giving up in exchange for that purchase? Maybe the answer is nothing. Maybe you have the money available, you need the item, and you know you'll use it. That's perfectly fine. But sometimes, the answer might surprise you. You might realize that you'd rather keep the money, and that's okay. 2. You don't have to take advantage of every sale. You don't have to use every coupon. You don't have to buy something just because a store is offering a discount, and you definitely don't have to feel guilty for walking away from a bargain sometimes. The smartest purchase is no purchase at all. So the next time you see that big sale sign, don't just ask yourself how much you're saving. Ask yourself something more important. Do I actually need this? Would I buy it if it wasn't on sale? Will I use it? And would I rather keep the money for something else? If the answers don't make sense, walk away. The sale will probably not be the last sale you ever see. There will be another promotion, another discount, another special offer, another big red sign telling you that you need to buy something right now, but your money doesn't have to follow every offer that comes along, because being good with money isn't about never spending, it's about spending intentionally. It's about knowing the difference between something you want and something you actually need, and it's about remembering that a discount doesn't automatically make something affordable. So before you reach for your wallet because something is 50% off, take a breath. Ask yourself whether you were going to buy it anyway, because if you weren't planning to buy it before the sale, you may not be saving money at all. You may simply be spending less on something you didn't need. And that brings us back to our question. Before you buy it, do you really need that? If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more simple and realistic ways to spend smarter. And remember, you don't save money by buying everything that's on sale. Sometimes, you save money by walking away.